I bought a Pioneer AVH-1400NEX stereo, and I put it into my 2012 Nissan NV van. I just finished up wiring up the rear view camera. It's a third brake light replacement. It wasn't terrible, but it took me a couple hours. I still got to put a couple panels back. Actually, there's a big hollow space up in here that goes all the way to that kind of quarter panel there, and it's hollow in there, so I used a fish tape through the hole behind here to get it down into this. The fish tape came down through here, and then I pulled a couple of these panels back, just the clips on the bottom, up through the passenger area. And then the hardest part was right by the driver's seat, kind of getting it down through there. So like I said, I got to put some more panels and some zip ties in here, just to maybe something, a little foam or something to keep that from cutting. But you had to cut the wire connector that was for the old brake light. You have to cut that off and kind of wire connect the wires together there. I showed it before I took this panel off, but there's a panel right here. I have some pictures I can overlay. There's an orange wire and a four pin connector that you have to tap into for the reverse sensor. So when you put it into reverse, the backup camera will kick on automatically. So on this particular one, you can actually go to the camera view anytime you want to. But you wouldn't want to have to remember to do that every time. So when you put it into reverse, it kicks on. So it senses 12 volts on the stereo. Has a purple and white wire off the back that you have to run a wire from there down to that orange connector, so that when the stereo senses 12 volts on that purple and white wire, it'll actually flip over to the camera input. So overall, not too bad. It took a while to figure out the orange cable and where to tap that in. I also had to run a red and black wire off of the pigtail for the rear view camera. There's a pigtail in here. One goes to the video in, and then the red and black are the power and ground, of course. So I had to run those behind the dash down into this compartment here, which I can show you. It's not the prettiest thing, but I think this yellow fuse is from a trailer wiring or something. So I just tapped in just behind the fuse so that it's coming right off of the main juice. And then I ran a ground, the green is a ground wire. I ran that down back behind this panel. See if I can take that out real quick. Wasn't too bad. Sorry, so in here, I actually ran the green wire down and I tapped into, I actually took this screw out right here and I grounded it right to the side of the firewall here. And then this orange wire on this 4-pin connector, that is the reverse. I don't know if it's a reverse wire that goes back to the trailer wiring or back to the tail light reverse lights, but I tapped into there with some alligator clips to test, and it worked. So I hardwired I used this yellow wire here and tapped into the orange, and it worked. So overall, not too bad. I mean, you have to have some wiring experience just to make it a little easier, but and then you had to take the whole dash apart to get to the stereo, of course. I'll put that back together off camera, but pretty happy with it. These vans are pretty tough to back up. Not really tough to back up without a camera, but sure is nice to know you're not going to run over a kid or something. So I had the reverse camera on my 2017. They put them there on the door, but it gives you a much better view, much more panoramic view from behind. So I'll show some pictures of that as well, the stock versus the aftermarket. Thanks for watching. All right, put it in reverse. There's the camera. Fairly wide angle, I can see my house. And then I will take another one from my stock 2017, has the OEM reverse camera.